Okay, so we finally got the translations to this chapter of Akame ga Kill, and it clarifies a lot about this chapter, a lot of questions, and a lot of mysteries that we all wondered about from what we found out a couple days ago with the Raws released. So, apparently at the end of the chapter, Mine is technically not dead, but she might as well be dead. No offense, but she might as well be because she's comatose. She's comatose and she's technically crippled or a vegetable at the moment. So, it's kind of fucked up, actually. On a sense of looking at the ending part, now that it's clarified, her being in a coma is a lot worse than even her being dead, because she's just there, lifeless. And I'm gonna actually take, a shot in the dark here. For the mangaka to keep Mine around this late in the game, for instance, we're on the final arc of Akame ga Kill. We are on the final arc of the manga that was announced like a month or two ago. Pretty much, I'm willing to bet Mine, either A, she's going to become someone very important later on down the road, maybe towards the end of the last final arc, or she might save Tatsumi from the poison, because in this chapter, it is announced that Tatsumi is poisoned. When I was looking for the Raws, I did not realize that. I did not realize Tatsumi was poisoned. I mean, we saw a couple chapters back, Tatsumi grabbed his Tegu and, the barbs and stuff all over it, we thought it might have been poisoned. Well, with this, it's confirmed that the actual wires and stuff on his Tegu was poisoned, and pretty much has gotten all over Tatsumi, and he's poisoned himself. And supposedly this poison, stated from the Emperor in this chapter, is that this poison can even kill high-level danger beasts. So, danger beasts that are like Incurcio level can possibly die. Now, Incurcio, as we know, can evolve. So it might be possible Incurcio could evolve past the poison to where he can survive it. I mean, if he can evolve past Esdes's time stop ability, he could definitely evolve past poison, but we'll have to see. Now, I'm just going over a quick overview before I dive into the details. So, we also have Buto's death. Bhutto dies. He technically dies. Judging by the translations, judging by the way the panels were done, Bhutto dies. Now, there is going to be fellow readers of the series that are probably going to actually question Bhutto's death. Like, usually when it comes to Akame ga Kill, we always see the corpse of the person that's died. We always see the corpse of someone's death or something like that. But Bhutto wasn't like that. Bhutto actually did not have his body shown at all. Now, supposedly the capital spread that Bhutto is dead and stuff like that, but we have seen, Wave be knocked out of the park and fly way off and supposedly survive. So, it could be possible Bhutto survived, but I mean, judging by the way it was handled, I highly doubt he is alive, but we'll have to see. So, past that, Esdes also gets punched in the ovaries. Oh god, Esdes got punched in the ovaries hard. Like, damn. Overall, the chapter structure, it's still very similar slightly to the anime, as I stated. Bhutto, technically, the way he fell or if he died is pretty much the exact same as how it was in the anime, but the little differences that was actually done in the manga was that Bhutto overused his Tegu and he ran out of charge, supposedly from the translations. Now, I will get into the aspects of his death and stuff, but Bhutto dies because he didn't conserve his power. That's pretty much the real cause of Bhutto's death. It wasn't really because of his injuries and stuff like that. Yes, he was injured, he was hurt. You had to where, Tatsumi used his trump card to punch Bhutto in the fucking gut and it hurt Bhutto. Bhutto still was standing, he was still using his power, and at the end of the day, Bhutto still would have killed everybody if his Tegu did not run out of charge. So, Bhutto technically died because he didn't conserve his power. That's the real cause of Bhutto's death. It really isn't because of Mine, it's because he did not have the power with his Tegu to repel her attack. So it's kind of fucked up if you think about that. So, anyways, now I want to dive in. So, the chapter. I actually respect the setup for Tatsumi's death, supposedly. The setup for Tatsumi's death being poisoned, and now he's actually slightly fused with Incurcio, because at the end of the chapter, really easy to miss. Like, you can easily miss if you're not really paying attention to Tatsumi's face, but in Tatsumi's face, one of his eyes are actually Incurcio, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, Incurcio has slightly fused with Tatsumi, and Tatsumi doesn't look like he's donning armor completely at the moment, so Incurcio is slightly taking over Tatsumi. Tatsumi is evolving. Now, I don't know if it's because of the effect of his evolution, or if it's because of the poison, and maybe Incurcio is slightly trying to fix that. I mean, there's a lot of questions around that, but it seems like Tatsumi is fusing with Incurcio. So we might eventually get that golden Digimon. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that evolve form. So, jokes aside, pushing the jokes aside, the Mine circumstance with her death. Now, I'm not a Mine hater. I actually like Mine as a character. I do. I like Mine. I have no hate towards her. But at the end of the day, personally, would you rather her be a vegetable or a pumpkin, pretty much? Or would you rather her be dead? Just pass on peacefully. We gotta think about this like that, because Mine is now just a shell of her former self. And Tatsumi has to look at her like that. And so, we don't know. We don't know exactly if Mine will come back or not. But the thing is that technically her fate at the moment is actually worse than death. It is. And I have to say, I like it a lot better than the actual anime. I still am slightly kind of upset that the anime spoiled these events. I really am. But the way it was handled was slightly better. Now, I want to get into the Butoh fight, okay? So, Butoh, he put up a massive fight. That's something I want to point out. Now that I have translations, I can actually go in details. Butoh put up a good fight. He fought a bunch of Tegu users. He fought Leon, he fought Tatsumi, he fought Akame. I mean, he fought Nagenda slightly at one time, or the Danger Beast that Nagenda was riding. And, you know, there's just all these people. Mine, and he took all this damage. He took a lot of damage. But, as I said earlier on in this video, he technically, at the end of the day, he did not die because of those, like, injuries. He died because he didn't conserve his power. And this brings up a major question I have with this chapter. We already know my standpoint with Butoh and Esdes level and stuff. Like, we already know that. And we probably all slightly feel the same way. But here's the other issue on top of this. Butoh is a general, or a commander of his army. Butoh is the commander of the Imperial Army. Like, he's like top tier. And that means he's a great tactician. That means he must have a brain to be able to be a commander and hold his status and have his men follow underneath him. It doesn't take just power to have your troops follow you. You have to have great tactics. And Butoh had to have those. I know for a fact he had to as a commander. And so Butoh actually overusing his Tegu power and not conserving his Tegu, you know, charges or whatever, like the charges with his power, it really doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't, because Butoh at the end of the day is a commander. He's a warrior. And he should, as a warrior or a commander, be able to think ahead slightly of how to use his abilities. Because he's used this ability for so long, he should know how much he should use, or his limits. All characters should technically know their limits, and he should know his own limits. Now, I know there's going to be some that's going to say it's because he was angry. And yes, in human nature, when you're angry and emotions are flying, you don't tend to actually think as well as you normally do. But still, the point is, Butoh should have known his limits. He should have, at the very least. When his face was in the dirt and he was getting slightly mad, he should have realized he was at his limits. He should have. And I don't know how to sit with that. I don't, because Butoh, at the end of the day, he didn't die because they bested him at strength. Like, I mean, they were incredibly strong, and they were curb stomping Butoh for quite a few times, but Butoh, at the end of the day, he only died because he didn't conserve power. And that just, yeah. And also, his entire ability, I don't think it was really ever mentioned in Akame ga Kill that Butoh has a limit to his power either. It felt like that just popped out of nowhere just to kill off Butoh. It did. I don't think it's ever done it. If it has, please point it out to me, Chibi. I'll gladly look back at that chapter, but I don't think any previous chapters with Butoh has told us that Butoh's ability, like his Tegu, can actually run on charges and it runs out. It just felt like that was springed up out of nowhere just to kill him off. So, that's pretty much that. Chapter Esdes. Esdes, she gets punched in the ovaries, like I said earlier, and I have to say, I understand technically how Tatsumi punched Esdes, because Esdes was, you know, technically not going full force against Tatsumi. She was just playing around, messing around, and having fun. She wasn't really trying to be serious, and we do know that Esdes cares a lot for Tatsumi. And so, I understand how Tatsumi punched her, and with this overall, like, segment of the manga chapter, it sets up Esdes versus Tatsumi a real actual fight. For instance, in the future, we know for a fact there's going to be a fight between Esdes and Tatsumi, and it's probably going to be the final fight. Maybe Esdes will do the killing blow on Tatsumi, because he's dying by poison to begin with. So, Esdes, you know, technically had slight development right there. She actually states, like, she will take the fight with Tatsumi serious next time, and she didn't honor him as a warrior. So it's slightly sad if you think about it. So that development, did not expect to see a development for Esdes of all characters. I mean, I love Esdes, but damn, to see development like that, I'm like, holy shit. So chapter, overall, it's okay. It's an okay chapter. I just don't approve of how the anime, like, rushed over a lot of these details and just spoiled the events. It's like getting a quick peek at the summary of what you should expect. Like, it's like if Oda, okay, was, you know, to tell Toei Animation to spoil all about One Piece, the ending of One Piece, and quickly go over it in, like, a matter of 4 or 5 episodes. And all this content in 4 or 5 episodes can go up to, like, you know, maybe 200 episodes or 20 episodes, but it gets rushed into 4 or 5 episodes. Pretty much that's how I feel with what the anime did to me. It felt like it gave me a brief peek at the script of the manga, and now majority of us know slightly what to expect. We do. If you watch the anime, you know what to expect. Like, it's already obvious if you watch the anime what's probably going to happen next. It's going to be Akame versus Kurome. It's going to be that. It's definitely going to be. If it's not, I'll admit it. But that's probably what's going to happen, because the structure of this chapter was the same structure that the anime took. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love y'all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.